Actually, calling them managers is elevating them. The government of the day today, they are security guards. The apartheid government were managers. They were managing this country on behalf of the financiers, on behalf of bankers who colonized us. Remember, as we were colonized by companies, South Africa was colonized by Dutch East India Company, British East India Company. All these companies were Anglo, both DPS, both Oppenheimer. They were running this country. They even told Amapuna about Oppenheimer, but you could now stop it. Apartheid is the end. The Cold War is done. Go to negotiations. Otherwise, we will sanction you from abroad. We won't get this and this. You are disturbing our businesses now. Then that's when negotiations started, when the Berlin Wall fell, after the defeat of communism.
Wow. So what do you think is happening now? Who do you think? You said Anglo American probably still runs South Africa today, but if South Africa still has the same runners as they did back in the day, why is it depreciating so much? And why is it? This is a question I just can't find an answer to, no matter who I ask. Why is it that South Africa is such an easy country to get into, you know, as opposed to other developed countries?
Let me tell you this. South Africa has got minerals. It's rich. The owners of this world, or the owners of South Africa, they don't care about South African lives. They see labor. And now it's even worse because we've been replaced by robots, machines. So all they want is the market. Cecil John Rhodes wanted to build a railway line from Cape to Cairo. One, so that Africa becomes one. But for what benefit? So that they can exploit resources. If they had one government in Africa where they just lay down the law and take resources in Congo, take resources, so that's what they wanted. So now the corporate South Africa, they've realized that the market is saturated. If Vodacom, for an example, or MTN, they are operating here, you can only reach a certain number of subscribers. But if you break down walls, you sell to Nigeria, DPS is there, they're also taking their minerals, you're selling your alcohol beverages in Nigeria. They've got 200 million people in Ghana. So your circulation, it's much more bigger than in South Africa. So it's for the benefit of the corporate world. And the politicians, they're catching,
Crumbs.
yes, because they are there. Some of them, they've been given mines by these dictators. They are using our army, to secure their interest. Amanyama dictators in Africa, they don't want to lose power. They say, South Africa, please come help us. You help this guy, he stays in power, he gives you something, they put it in their pocket. The same way Cyril Ramaphosa is doing. He's loaning money from IMF for his own pocket. When he says, I've loaned 8 billion to fix
Load shedding.
that money doesn't go to Eskom. Who's there at Eskom? They are companies, some IPP, they plugged in their companies. That money goes to them. But they named it Eskom as a beneficiary, but they've unbundled it. Motsepe is there, got the IPPs, Rupert, they are there. They loan money for themselves. It goes into their pocket. So corporate South Africa, they want to see a borderless Africa because it depreciates the value of labor. If you're competing, no muntu say Rwanda, you say, I want 10,000 rand for this job. Umuntu uyafika from Norway, no, you can give me 2,000 rand. The value goes down and they reap the benefits. They want that. So that's why South Africa is depreciating. They don't care, these guys, about our lives. As a government, you must worry about the happiness of your people. Check the happiness index, their lifespan. But when I don't think like that, because in capitalism, it's about minimum input, maximum output. I must spend little to gain more. So that's their interest, to exploit the whole continent. Remember, they've got houses all over the world, Guma Island, they buy private islands. Even when they live here, they are secured, go stay in city. Capitalism only worries about how do we get mineral resources from here to the harbor. Let's fix the road from here to the harbor. Ukuthi abantu where they live, they don't care. Like Bo Marikana, you've seen, ukuthi bahlala emaKhukhwini, mina ngifuna igold la. Okay, can we take this gold without being disturbed? Let's put soldiers if we are being disturbed. Ingene la, yeah, China, sithole imali yethu, sohlala eFrance, or sohlala kuma islands. So South Africa, it's for that reason, it has fallen on the hands of the ANC. The ANC, they are the puppet of the West, and Cyril Ramaphosa, he has no plan. Besides that, he's a person who's plugged in. It's a payback time. He was made by Jewish money. They took him, educated him. They even found a union for him. Imagine an employer building a union for you. It's payback time. So he's there. He's not a businessman. He's plugged in. Baba Nigama shares, Nabo Tokyo, Nabo Mutsipe, and they've never built anything. There's nothing Umtsipa ngakhula ngayo. Noma ungamamela umtsipho uthi I need a business advisor. Okay, come and inspire us. You know, it's a group of youngsters. Can you please? Ayikho into azoyisho umtsipho enengqondo. Because he was plugged in. No Cyril Ramaphosa, ayikho into azokutshela yona enengqondo. As opposed to mhlambe mongathola uMaponya. Uthola uKaizer Mdawung. He built a team, you know, with his colleagues from scratch. He knows the challenges. He knows the endurance. He's experienced failures before. So laba, they're politicians, but come take shares here.
So how do you see South Africa going? I mean, our government is corrupt, as you say. And I'm not talking about corrupt as in they're unethical. I mean, it's corrupted. Like when a file in a computer has been infected by a virus,
Yeah.
it's corrupt. So with that being said, the Western world don't care about the everyday lives of everyday people. Our government doesn't either. Where do you see South Africa going? Look, our youth is not studying. In my own experience, I think I'm the only person I know that I grew up with that actually has a job, finished. And then the other people that do have, the other few that do have jobs, they're very dead-end, menial labor, low-paying jobs. And this is people that have actually went to university, you know. I mean, very few of us decided or made it or had the opportunity or the luxury of going to university. And even in my clique of few people that went to university, most of them basebenza garage or they're nannies or even a domestic worker, you know. So out of 100, I'm the only one that actually has a good paying job or a good life, you see. So with that being said, I don't blame these kids. I mean, I see Soweto every day is depreciating into drugs. When I was younger, drugs were a taboo, like, oh, that boy pay mama drugs. But these days, it's the fashionable thing, you know. I go back to Deep Loop today, I see everybody's doing crystal meth. People are stealing cars. They're drinking all day because they have nothing to do. And with companies falling every day, there's less jobs, which means there's more crimes. Companies in Cresta, there's like 2 shops that closed down in Cresta yesterday. More and more things are falling. Things are getting worse. There's load shedding. There's no jobs. There's more crime. Where do you see South Africa going at all?
South Africa, when you say where do I see South Africa going, it is not going. South Africa has fallen. It's falling at a record speed. It is doomed. It is doomed. Normally tell people, you know, youngsters, if you can find a ticket out of this country, do that faster than Usain Bolt. Move. South Africa is a scam. As we say, there are no jobs. Even the jobs that we trained for, those jobs are finished. They've prepared us for a world that no longer exists. Even if you train a lawyer today, you're training him for jobs that no longer exist. There's no need to go to court. You can check this computer, virtual. People in the near future, they'll be able to consult, you know, the computer, the what you call it, the
Body of knowledge.
IA, these algorithms, you know, they'll be able to check on the computer with, no man, I need this. You know, they'll be able to diagnose themselves, even their problems. They wouldn't need another person to do that unless it's a must. So the jobs that you're training for today, you know, they won't exist tomorrow. We're prepared for a world, or being prepared for a world that no longer exists and won't exist ever. So it's gone, you know. And the leaders who are supposed to be leaders of society, they have no clue. Give an example. South Africa, they assemble cars, German cars. 70% of those cars, they go to Europe. Europe has given South Africa 2 years notice. It says you must change your plans because electric vehicles, they're coming in. They won't need combustion engines. So what's going to happen? Those people are going to lose jobs. Instead of those companies,
Garages will shut down if they don't
change.
come up.
Yeah, garages, They're already shutting down. The owners of the garages or filling stations, they are, bailing out. They sell to this guy who doesn't know anything, who's a petrol attendant, but he knows who will empower you. You've been my loyal servant. Let's go to the bank, 20 million. Here's a garage, run it. This guy doesn't know, even if he knows how to run the garage. But the money in the garage is in the shop. Fuel is highly levied, highly taxed. And you come to the garage to pour petrol. Petrol doesn't make a lot of money. The money is in the shop that they have, that Spar, that Woolworths. But now, if there's so many malls, who's going to come to the garage? You can't just go to the garage and say, I'm going to make a grocery lapaya. There's so many complexes. Some malls, they are all over now. So they are competing with you. So it will be a filling station competing in the mall, and malls they're selling cheaper. People buy them maybe about 12 mall value. And in the near future, I can see South Africa going 24 hours. But it's not all lost, because sometimes when other jobs die, the question is the number. Is it enough numbers now? Because if we go, I forget this term, man. Maybe it's an artificial intelligence. We're gonna have to find our footstep. What is it that I can do in this world? What is it that I can sell that they cannot do without? We're supposed to be teaching people what is it that you can sell that they cannot do without. If you can find that,